Welcome to All New Look Back in Amber. From exclusive interviews to interesting inside insights, it's the only place to be for all of us Newport County fans. Coming up in the next 45 minutes, I'm Lamsey and I've got all the big questions.
I'm Stephen, I've got the commentary highlights and I'll be asking, what do our stats actually say?
Afternoon, I'm Luke and I'll have the post-match interview with James Roby, and I want to get your thoughts on how we improve goal-scoring opportunities.
Also, we'll have a sneak peek listen at Newport's number 29, a special interview that we've done. Never miss out. Subscribe to the podcast, or make sure you listen live at 3 p.m. on a Sunday and at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday after all League 2 home matches. So, All New Look Back in Amber is actually all new.
Yep,
it is.
Shiny and new.
Everything else is just the same from here. It's just a new beginning. Ish. We do have that at little sneaky peek listen to Newport's number 29, which we'll tell you about a little bit later. It all began at 1 p.m. in the Marquee with the NCR warm-up team. The kids from Rochdale Juniors FC, who were amazing. They asked some brilliant questions yesterday. We need to record that bit.
Yeah. We do.
Yeah.
That would make fantastic radio.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes. Charity of the Day, Noah's Retreat. I've never ever met such a heartfelt charity in the Marquee before. It's quite tear-jerking. We were speaking to Noah's mum. Noah was there, and his mum, and she was tearing up as she was talking to us. It was like, yeah. But a really good charity, so please support that one. And live music from the one and only Katie Lou. So thanks for Katie coming down. We couldn't have Genevieve, she was busy away, so we got Katie Lou instead, who did an absolutely amazing job. Obviously continued at 3 p.m. with you guys. So Stephen, Luke and Chris in the compete. Stephen, Rochdale's recent form.
Yes, well, Rochdale going into yesterday were 24th in League 2, 6 points behind Newport in 17th, but they had a game in hand. Rochdale lost their last match against Doncaster Rovers, 1-2. Rochdale won their last away match, 1-0 at Colchester United, their first win of the season and the first away win since beating Newport on the last day of last season. In the last 10 meetings between the teams, Rochdale have won 7, drawn 1 and lost 2. And in the last 5 home meetings, Rochdale have won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1.
Look, how did Newport County line up yesterday afternoon?
Newport County had Joe Day in goal. Nick Townsend was out for personal reasons. Back three are Cameron Norman, James Clark, Mickey Demetriou, Adam Lewis and Aaron Lewis as wing-backs. Robbie Wilmot, Aaron Wildig and Nathan Mariah-Welsh as a midfield three, and Omar Bogle and Will Evans up front.
Brilliant. Let's hear what happened as Newport County took on Rochdale yesterday afternoon.
Good afternoon. After stopping the home rot 2 weeks ago with a draw against Carlisle United, Newport County unexpectedly beat the league leaders Leyton Orient on their own patch to end their unbeaten start to the season. The recovery was tempered somewhat with defeat at Swindon, but Newport go again here at Rodney Parade against the side bottom of the entire league, Rochdale, who've won once all season. Chris Chabot here alongside Stephen Howell, who's back from exile, having been blocked from access to Rodney Parade last time out.
Yeah, good afternoon, Chris, and great to be here. Yep, it's the Newport Food Festival this weekend in Newport, and the 3 points and goals are on the menu for James Roby and his side today.
Gets it back for the throw, and back to Kelly. Has a look inside the penalty area, and the flick header beats Joe Day, and the goal has gone in from James Ball, just 5 yards out. Nice ball in from Keohan, and he beat Day to it, flicked it past him, and in the 5th minute Newport County find themselves behind once again at home. Newport 0, Rochdale 1. Well, Joe Day getting a chance in the side today, but beaten to it in the air there.
Yeah, I think the defending should have been a lot better there, Chris. They allowed ball to run in, but a lovely flick header by him. And Newport up against it now. Rochdale will be full of confidence. Obviously, they got a away win last time they were playing in League 2, so all to do now.
Evans flicks it on. Bogle tries to find a way through, curls a left-footed shot just wide of the far post. Strong play from the county number 9. High ball up to Will Evans, who's good in the air. He found Bogle, back to goal, and he rolled his man. Got a shot away, but still Newport trail by a goal to 0. Lay off from Rodney, and ball fires in a low shot. Day has to tip it around the post. Seconds after Newport had almost scored. Rochdale close to making it 2-0. Corner played in from the left-hand side, unmarked on the far post, and somehow on the rebound is put wide by Ebanks Landell. A let-off for County there. Superb corner coming in from Liam Kelly. Free header at the far post. Day got a save, blocked it on the line, and Ebanks Landell missed with the rebound. Bogle's broken through the middle, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and can only find the feet of Richard O'Donnell as he tried to slide it under him. But he broke clear there, the ball in behind. Got it on target, but O'Donnell beat him in that one-on-one situation. Devante Rodney brings it under control and spots the run of Odo. Racing away down the right-hand side. He's got a man on the left. Quickly sends it across. Quickly from a few yards out. Misses to target. He arrived at the far post. Day came out, made himself big. Quickly thought, I'll try and dink it over him. But on his left foot, the ball just span up over Day and wide of the left post.
Got to credit Joe Day for the goalkeeping there. Like I said, he made himself really big, but that was another golden opportunity for Rochdale. Probably put this game beyond doubt, if I'm honest, at 2-0.
Wilmot's corner to the near post, and the header flashes into the side netting. It was Dimitriou who just ghosted in. Cross is headed out. Norman has a go now. Blazes it across the face of goal. From out on the right-hand side, Nevers jumped for it, but the ball sails across and wide. The referee blows for full time, and yet again, it's defeat for Newport County at home. They've now lost 5 home games already this season. And for Rochdale, it's only their second win all season. Newport slip to 18th in League 2 as Rochdale climb off the foot of the table. The league's worst club going into today's fixture. Lots of efforts from Newport County on goal, 20 in total. Several corners and free kicks, but nothing really to trouble the goalkeeper all afternoon. Omar Bogle through one-on-one, forced a good save from him. But other than that, nothing really to test him. Rochdale scored early in the 5th minute through James Ball, and that was enough to claim victory. And the crowd, who stayed with the team for large parts when Newport really did have a go in the early part of the second period. But frustration again at the end. Final score, Newport County 0, Rochdale 1.
Thanks to Stephen and Chris for that one. We'll find out what Stephen feels about some of the stats behind that, and we'll find out what Luke wants to find out about how we improve the whole situation. That's coming very soon on Look Back in Amber. Let's find out off the man in the controlling seat. This is Katie manager James Rowbury.
It's difficult when you lose to a team that are bottom of the league at home, and it's and we need to improve that. We realise there's work to do.
You said start on the front foot. You did, but then conceded really early.
Yeah, it's a really poor goal to concede. Obviously disappointed. Disappointed in that, with how we conceded it and the goal that goes in. And second half, we showed a lot of spirit, if you like, to go forward and create chances. And ultimately, we've lost the game. We've lost the game. We know that, and we need to do better with it. You
didn't sort of perish worrying. You made the changes at half-time. They did have an effect, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, but they did, to be fair to Lewis and Thierry, when they came on. They stretched the game, changed in shape that we did to 4-4-2. Gave us that width that created a few good passes of play and chances, but a lot of balls went into their box. We knew that. It's just getting that consistency between both halves. So you look at, you take the Leyton Orient game, which was a positive result all round. First half at Swindon, where we were good. Second half, not so good. First half today, not great, and then second half we were better today. But we understand that probably our major thing to do is get greater consistency now in performances.
Now, you've been around in football long enough to know the score. There were some furious fans at the end. furious, frankly, with you.
That's football, and that's it's my responsibility as manager of the football club. So it falls ultimately on me, and what we've got to do is recognise which we are, the work that needs to be done, show greater consistency, and ultimately start winning football matches.
Are you feeling pressure from above?
No, I never feel pressure from above in that sense. That in that way, I put the pressure on myself. I think that's the thing. So the greatest pressure, whether it's from different directions, always comes from me.
Do you still feel you're the man?
Of course I do. Of course I do. People will question that right now. It's about coming out of this sticky period, coming out stronger and better for it, and that's what the aim is.
Because it doesn't look great, as you just said, when you lose to the club who are bottom of League Two.
Yeah, it doesn't look great when you lose to the bottom of the club at League Two, and it looks good when you win at top of league. But it's ultimately judged on your last performance in every aspect of football, whether it's management, coaching, or playing. We shouldn't be losing today to bottom of league. We know that, we recognise that, and we've got things to work on to get better for next week.
And fans will look Crawley in our bottom, they're your next opponents.
Yeah, and it's a game we got to prepare for properly next week.
You're still enjoying it? I mean, this is the toughest spell you've had, isn't it, since you've taken over?
Without a shadow of a doubt, in many ways, in that it's always challenging. You have different challenges when you're winning, you have different challenges when you're losing. I feel strongly and passionately about this football club, and ultimately I was a fan when my dad played here, my grandfather was involved. I think the major thing for us is take that to one side. That's irrelevant right now. It's what's important about winning football matches.
How painful was it, those the boos? How hard is it when you?
That's part and parcel of management. In what it is, I experienced it in different management teams previously. Then it drives us forward to try and get this right.
You're confident you are the man to turn it around. What can you do differently, man?
I think it's improving consistency in both halves. So we either play well first half and not well second half, or not play well first half and play better second half. I think is the work ethic, the way that we go about things is really important, and we keep moving that forward and giving the lads the confidence and spirit to keep going.
Did you get the selection wrong then in the first half? Or?
I don't know. Well, if you judge on the result, then you might say that, but you put a team out that you think is going to win a game to give consistency. We felt as though we did that, but obviously it's not worked because we've not won the game, so that's the bottom line of it.
What was the difference second half? Why were they on the front foot? Maybe a bit more tentative, maybe?
I think sometimes when you feel a bit of pressure, maybe you don't do the things as well as what you should do. And I think when you go a goal behind, it sometimes becomes a little bit easier. The challenge is to show the bravery and consistency when backs against the wall, when you're winning or when you're drawing. I think that's important to do that.
It's a test of everyone's character, I guess, now, isn't it? It's tough at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It's always tough in football to when you lose games, and the position we're in, 3 points of relegation, I believe. I think that's it right now. But we've got to put that right this week with a positive training week, show consistency like we do in training, and put that onto the pitch.
You said after that at Leyton Orient you have to build on this now, and you haven't done that, have you?
No.
That's the challenge, I guess, is to string results together.
Yeah, and getting a run of form together that gets us to where we believe we should be, higher at the table.
Did you see enough in that second half to think there is something?
Yeah,
you can build on?
I think, and I think if you're looking at from a neutral perspective, whether you're a fan or whether you're a staff member at this football club, is that you look at it. It was we kept going and going and going. I'm not going to come at you and happy clap about it because ultimately we lost the football match. The thing that we did do is that we kept creating chances. I'm not sure if they got a shot on our goal second half, but ultimately it's the result that matters, and we didn't do that today. But seen enough in that to work with and to push forward that we can do that.
How tough was it to break them down this afternoon?
Yeah, it's tough because we haven't scored, and it's disappointing, it's frustrating, and it's something that we've got to work on again next week.
Newport County manager James Rowberry. Thank you, Luke, for grabbing that one for us. Just say we've got a couple of tweets coming in. We are not Newport County Football Club. We are Newport City Radio. So if there's any news about anything, we will let you know as soon as we can. We haven't got any insight other than what we've got for you today. James Rowberry is the manager, and we're going to talk about the game. So that's been the plan for the last couple of weeks, and it's still the plan today, if that's all right. Stephen, walk me through that game.
Yeah, well, I think, it was a nightmare start, really, wasn't it? Yeah, they got caught out for the goal. They allowed ball to run into the area. I think maybe Joe Day could have done slightly better with the cross as well. I think that goal, it killed the atmosphere at Rodney Parade. It silenced the crowd, which kind of played into Rochdale's hands a little bit. In the first half, I thought Newport were outfought and outthought. I think Rochdale won their battles all over the pitch. I thought Newport were fortunate to only be 1 down at half-time. I think it could have easily been 2 or 3 if it wasn't for a bad miss and a couple of Joe Day saves. Newport had one good chance themselves for Bogle, but he didn't beat the keeper, went through 1-on-1. It was good to see that James Roby changed it at half-time. He brought on some subs, changed the formation, and it was a lot better in the second half, although we didn't really create any meaningful chances to test the goalkeeper enough. And we didn't trouble their defence. I thought Rochdale defended quite well. Yeah, I thought Terry Nevers was bright when he came on. And that forced Rochdale then into a change. That they changed the personnel, and then eventually they changed their shape as well to protect their lead. So that was a positive. And I think on times Rochdale, they tried to make it a scrappy game. They were making it quite physical. A lot of niggly challenges going in all over the pitch. But I thought Newport, we stood up well to that. I thought we coped well. I just think overall, I think there just wasn't enough quality in the final third. One thing that the team needed to do, which is they kind of going away from, is just having spells of possession in games and building up the play patiently and go about it that way. That's completely gone in my eyes. We're just deciding to go direct all the time. And it's playing into teams' hands. It's easy to defend. I've said it. I don't know how many times I've said this now. I think if we'd opted maybe for fewer long balls and and tried to just build up the play a bit more, then we might have had a bit more success. Yeah, just a really disappointing result on the performance as well. James Roby said only 3 points from relegation, and that's a worry for me.
You've just summed up really nicely there, saying that over the last couple of episodes of Look Back in Amber, we've tried to look at what could happen, what could change, what could possibly be. I don't know whether we've seen any of those changes, but
Not really.
as a listener, go back and have a listen to what we've said. We're not saying that we know any better or any worse than anybody else, but we're here to talk positively about what could possibly happen and what could change. And it does feel a little bit same after same after same after same. Luke, what are you reading into yesterday's game?
I agree with most things Stephen said there. The crowd were 100% silenced. It's never nice to concede early, never mind 5 minutes into a game. You could tell the crowd were up for it as they were getting into the Rodney Parade, especially the Compy Terrace, which obviously we know is always rocking before the game. They were just silenced after 5 minutes, and I guess that's kind of what the message might have been.
And we do concede early in games as well. We're terrible conceding in the first 15 minutes. Yeah, it's happened a few times this season.
That was a shocker. I was packing up in the marquee at the time, and I knew what had happened, and that's 5 minutes.
I know.
So I can imagine being there, actually seeing that happen. It just seems really strange that there's no coming back off that one.
First half, I think we played okay. We weren't at our very, very best. We had 60% possession, 7 shots, 2 on target. That's not too bad. That's not promotion winning.
Well, this is where you two disagree, Liz.
Because
you're a bit warmer towards the first half than Stephen, and that's what we're here to talk about.
First half, it wasn't the greatest performance I've ever seen from a James Roby Newport County team, but it's better than what we've seen in the past. Second half, we just completely dominated. 70% possession, 14 shots, but the one that worries me, 1 on target from those 14 shots. We need to be doing better from shots to scoring, which is what I want to talk about later on. And I have some ideas, so stick around for that. Yeah. Stephen's right. Hoofball. I don't want to use that word, but it is very much like hoofball. I don't think it's working, because yesterday, Rochdale, we'll see it time and time again in League 2. We try and go long into 2 6'4", 6'5", really strong League 2 centre-backs. It doesn't work. Maybe when you got Omar Bogle and Franny Zanzala, but Zanzala's injured. You got Will Evans. Is Will Evans the type of player that can win a header, win a ball against a 6'4", 6'5" defender?
Well, he'd
No.
rather be at home looking after the cows, wouldn't he? Which is what you're going to find out when we actually play his interview on Friday morning. I know.
I thought Will Evans did really well in the game yesterday, though.
Yeah, but just that direct style doesn't suit him.
No.
Holding the ball up and allowing others to come into play.
Yeah.
I think he's better when he's making runs off a defender rather than trying to... As James Roby said to me on Friday, our friend Zanzala's back in training next week, so hopefully it's not too far away from seeing him, and I think he'll add another dimension.
Imagine if this is the missing piece of a not a jigsaw, but a chain reaction that will just make everything all happen. Dreamland territory, isn't it? But that's all we can hope. So I'm getting this vibe that Rochdale, rightly so, kind of did what Newport County did against Leyton Orient.
Yeah, definitely. I think, they got themselves in front. And then, I mean, the first half, they could have been even further in front, as I said. And, second half, I think, as that half went on, they kind of, they made personnel changes, as I said. They went to a back five as well. They brought in an extra defender, McNulty, come on. So they were basically happy to protect what they had. They didn't even have a shot on target in the second half. Yeah, and it was, Newport were trying, but not really. Like I said, they didn't really worry the defence or the goalkeeper anywhere near enough to even... I couldn't see us scoring yesterday, if I'm honest. I thought Rochdale were far too comfortable defending. As again, we've said about too many teams that are coming to Rodney Parade at the moment.
Yeah, that's coming to your stats in a minute, isn't it? Look, technically, the game itself, it didn't sound like a classic, but from what I heard in the commentary, what Stephen said to us as well, it feels that there was a battle of tactics in there. Did it look like that?
I guess you could say that with Thierry Nevers and Lewis Collins, all they're going to offer is pace out wide. Thierry Nevers does like to drift off around to the right hand side, and Lewis Collins, same with him on the right hand side. So yeah, that is fair game. I think as well, Rochdale just sat back, and there was a question of James Roby in terms of tactically, how do you break them down? Because at times, especially towards the end, they just had 8-9 players behind the ball, especially in and around the penalty box. He tried to put a cross in, so always a Rochdale person on the end of it.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. I think it was just too easy, and to be honest, I think the quality of the crosses wasn't brilliant from us either. I think a lot more qualities needed as well to kind of trouble these defences. For me, I think if you're going to break a team down, just pumping long balls into the box, it isn't going to do it. You need to kind of get the ball on the floor, drag defenders out of position and out wide. You need a lot better movement from the front players in the box. They need to keep, don't be so rigid. I think I can remember Roby on time saying to them yesterday, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. So that's what you've got to do, haven't you? You've got to draw these defenders out and into places that they don't want to be, and we're just not doing that to teams at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Luke, let's go to the absolutely Katie man of the match.
Who was Stephen Howard's man of the match?
Well, I think I've just alluded to it, actually, and it's probably nicely timed as well, given what we're going to share later on. But for me, I'd say it was Will Evans.
And there's no bias in that. It's just a
I
waste
thought he did really well up front. He was, he was battling well, and he was, linking up play as well when he could. So I thought he did a really good game yesterday.
Yeah. He wasn't even nominated. I do apologise.
Right. Okay.
So the three players that were nominated is Nathan Mariah-Welsh, who I thought had a really good, positive first half, Mickey Dimitriou, and Thierry Nevers.
Okay.
Out of those three, Stephen, do you have a preference?
I'll go with him then, Thierry Nevers.
Mickey D was the absolute county man.
I always seem to say Mickey Dimitriou, so I thought I'd go somebody different, like, for a change.
There you go. Okay, we're only a few weeks away from school half term, and the team at the Neon have already announced the return of their soft play sessions with a Halloween theme. It's looking cool downstairs, isn't it? We came in today and they've decked it out already. It'll be open daily from the 23rd to the 29th of October. Doors open at 11 o'clock in the morning, close at 5 p.m. Pre-book to avoid missing out at theneon.co.uk.
Right here, right now. Newport City Radio.
So for this week, I've changed it up a little bit this week. Rather than asking a question and having an answer, I'm going to give you some facts and some stats, and we can have a discussion about what they mean. If that's okay.
Well, it is all new. Look back in amber, so that makes sense, mate.
Oh, we knew.
We're newer than new.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fresher than fresh.
We are.
We're hotter than hot.
The first obvious one is that Newport County are on their worst run since August 2016 to January 2017, where they've won once in 12 games. They won 1, drew 4 and lost 7. At the moment, in our last 12, we've won 1, drawn 1 and lost 10. Another thing I've pointed out is the opposition has scored first in 11 out of the last 14 matches in League 2. They've also happened in the Cup as well, but I'm just focusing on the league. In that time, we've won 1, drawn 1 and lost 9. When we have scored first, we've won 2 and drawn 1. Goals given the lead to the opponent this season, 11. We've only scored an equaliser on 3 occasions. Newport County failed to score in 4 out of 7 matches at home and are 20th in the table. Away from home, we're also 20th in the table, and we've failed to score in 6 games. We've only scored first in 1 home game this season. So there's a couple of stats. I have a few more as well, but my final one would be, in the last 3 home games, from a total of 7 shots on target, Newport County have only forced the goalkeeper into 3 saves and scored 1 goal. So, Luke Lewis.
Hello.
What do those stats say to you?
I think those stats say that there's room for improvement.
Yes.
And 100% yes.
Just to find across the whole of the world where there's any disagreement to that statement that you just made, Dan. Hang on. No. I've got some stats here in terms of XG. We were quite equal against Swindon.
Yeah.
If I get some XG from the whole season...
Have we explained XG to the people like me?
XG is basically expected goals. So this is a quite new term in football. Which
and it's been used as well by James has mentioned it a couple of times.
He's mentioned it a few times on Look Back in Amber in previous editions. It's basically, say somebody has a shot from the edge of the box and it's like going into the top corner, but the goalkeeper makes a world-class save. That will be like 0.5 XG or whatever.
What could be the case?
Yeah, basically, what should be the case.
Yeah.
Last season we were second come the end of the season, only behind Forest Green, who ran away with it. But this season we're currently 18th with 1.09 XG per game. That shows that we, on average, should be scoring a goal a game. Should be scoring more than that.
And I think, there was another stat I saw, soft score. We're creating like 1 big chance a game. I think we've said it before. And I think it was like 1.1 big chances a game. And we're missing 0.6 of those chances. So we're not even taking the chances. I had a look through the last 5 games. Yesterday we had 3 shots on target. Against Swindon we had 4 from 10 attempts. Against Leyton Orient away as well, we had 4 goalkeeper saves from 5 attempts. Last home match against Carlisle, we had 6 attempts, and the goalkeeper only had to make 1 save. Against Barrow, we had 12 attempts, but the goalkeeper wasn't forced into a single save. So weirdly, we're not doing too badly away from home, and it's at home where we're struggling to create chances and forcing the goalkeepers into saves. And it's just making me wonder, is our current way of playing more suited to playing away? Is what I'm getting at. Because we're 10th in the away goals table. We've scored 7 in 6 games, so that's not
bad.
Yeah, I mean, we're 22nd for home goals. We only scored 5 in 7 games. But yeah, in the away table, we're 13th in the table, 7 points from 6 games. But again, like I said, in the home form table, we're 22nd. For me, these stats are telling me we've got a real problem at home. I think.
Did we not change the bench that we sit on at Rodney Parade?
We did, yeah.
Is that the cause of all this evil?
Could well be.
I think
Halloween.
I think I do know what the cause of it all is. Obviously, we don't cover the away games, but at Rodney Parade, me, Stephen and Chris are there. I think we're 3 negative influences on the club.
Could be, yeah. Well, I wasn't there for the last game. We got a draw, so
yes, we're ruling it out. What happened when Chris missed an episode?
We lost 3-0 to Rochdale, didn't we? The last
game
we
lost 3-0 to Rochdale. Yeah, I think that was the last.
I conclude it's Luke Lewis's fault.
What was the one where I missed it the other week?
We
lost to Forest Green.
Yeah, we lost that one
there
as
you
well.
go.
So.
There you go, nothing in it.
Yeah.
What about when Lamsey's missing from the warm-up?
Yeah.
Well, that's
I don't know.
good.
I haven't got those stats in front of me.
Moving back on to more serious matters, I go back to the second half yesterday where we huffed and puffed. We just couldn't blow them down. 14 shots in the second half, 1 on target.
Yeah.
For a team that's chasing the game, okay, you're having efforts on target and you're trying to create chances. But I could have a shot from 50 yards that sails over the bar. That counts as a shot.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what's happening, really, isn't it? All right, we're having 21 shots, but most of them were nowhere near the goalkeeper. Another thing that I picked up on is that is conceded at home. We're the second worst team in the league for conceding at home. 11 goals conceded in 7 games. But again, we're the 9th best team conceding away. 6 conceded in 6 games. But one of the biggest worries for me is we've failed to score in 7 matches. To me, that's a big worry, I think.
Can we swap all our fixtures so we can play them all away?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
That could work.
If we score first, we're more likely to win. But we can't seem to score, or we definitely don't seem to score first. We're not creating meaningful chances. We're not putting the goalkeepers under anywhere near enough pressure in games. So, if you're only having to make 1 save a game, then it's quite a comfortable afternoon,
Which comes into your talking point in a second, doesn't it? How do we increase that pressure? So that's for Luke.
Can I just chuck another stat out there?
No, we're started out.
Yeah.
When James Roby took over last season,
he's doing it anyway.
He's going to do it anyway.
There's no control.
Anyway.
I have got control. I can just take his microphone slowly down.
When he came in last season, he said he wants to be a possession-based coach, a progressive coach. So far this season, from 11 games or however we've played, we're 22nd in terms of possession.
I think we're regressing. We spoke off air about it, and I said, with the greatest of respect, we're talking about an evolution, but to me, the evolution at the moment is sending us backwards, and that's what I'm worried about.
It's a definite worry. I don't think anyone can deny that, and that's something that we just can't hide from. I'm just wondering as well. Yes, stats, you can manipulate them any way you want. You've just given us stats, and we've interpreted them the best that we can. I wonder if there's a wider symptomatic problem where we know that James is a fantastic thinker. He's learnt his trade. Youngest was it pro manager, licensed manager, and. It is just is it too stat driven that sometimes you just need to just take your eye off the stats and just see what you got on the training
get
grade.
Back to basics a little bit, I think, is maybe what we need to do.
Again, I just wanted to throw it out there because I think sometimes we can read stats from Newport City Radio and draw whatever conclusions we want into it, but stats can limit you into what you're trying to achieve, and I don't know whether that's what's happening at our club. Don't know. Good talking point. I like that one. There's a monster of urban music. A night here at the Neon on the 28th. It's Kenny All-Star with support from Young Lion and Newport's very own Empire Flips. Brilliant DJ. Doors open at 7:30 p.m. Tickets available at theneon.co.uk.
Right here. Right here. Right now. Right now. Newport City Radio.
Yeah, so following on from Stephen's talking point there, what I want to talk about this week is how do we increase amount of goals or goal-scoring opportunities?
We did create chances yesterday, but the difficulty we're having is getting them on target, getting them. But for me, I think the biggest thing is kind of the way we're playing, and I think, I'm all for getting the ball out wide, getting crosses into the box. I think, we need a bit more variety in our play. I think, this direct way of playing, as we've said, is definitely not working. I think what was good yesterday is Robury actually changed the formation, and it did work. It's very rare for me to say this, but
what formation did he change?
It was my favourite 4-2-2-2 formation, or a 4-4-2, depending on how you want to look at it. But we did manage to get Nevers and Lewis Collins out wide, and that sort of kind of forced the other team into making a change, as I said, and we did look more of a threat. I think, I think Omar Bogle, even though he's got 7 goals this season, I think, but he is missing a lot of big opportunities. And what we need is him to be a bit more clinical, maybe in his finishing.
I did hear a few fans on the back of the compete yesterday have a bit of a...
They did want to take him off, which is like when you're losing 1-0, the last thing you want to do is take off your best goal scorer. You could possibly give Jan Kazimba a try. I think he doesn't get enough minutes on the pitch, to be fair to him. He's only coming on for 3 or 4 minutes at a time. So the bench isn't really having that much of an impact. And I wonder, have we got the players on the bench to have an impact? I think, yes, okay, we brought on Lewis Collins and Nevers, but after that we were a bit short of options after that, really. It was only, Drysdale, Bennett, Evan Evandale. So, apart from, the only 2 threats we brought on, and then James Wade came on, but I don't really think he had much of an impact in the game either. So
he only had about 5 minutes.
Yeah, these players, to be fair to them.
How long do you need to... Sorry to dive in, just intrigued by what you're saying. So 5 minutes you both think is too late.
Yeah.
What would be a suitable time to bring a player on so they could have some sort of meaningful impact? Is what
70 minutes?
I was going to say around 70 minutes, give them 20 minutes at least.
In my humble opinion, the only time you make substitutions past the 85th minute is if you're seeing out a game and you want to kill time. That's the only reason why, in my opinion, you should make changes after the 85th minute, or unless there's been a late red card or something, and then you want to tactically change things. I want to go back to the Euro final last year, England-Italy. Jadon Sancho and Bukayo Saka came on with 2 minutes to go. They came on for the reason of penalties. They were only on for the pitch for like 2 minutes, and they both missed their penalties.
Yeah.
They weren't fresh, ready.
No, they weren't. Up to speed, were they?
No.
Obviously, this is about Newport County, but did Southgate not say later that was maybe an error? Did he own up to that one? I can't remember what happened.
I don't pay attention to England.
That's English football, you know. So.
Yeah.
We're all about county.
Do you have anything you want to add here?
I know you're quite keen to talk about the Cameron Norman position. Did we cover that?
No, we haven't.
No.
Luke,
the whole point that you want to talk about, and we thought we'd widen it out a little bit. Let's come down to what you want to say originally.
Yeah, so in my opinion, we haven't seen the best of Cameron Norman so far this season, and I want to say towards the end of last season as well. He's one of my favourite players in the county shirt, and when he's on it, my God, he's on it. He puts in really, really good crosses. Last season, he was providing assists for Dom Telford and Courtney Baker-Richardson. But this season, he's either played right back in a back four, which doesn't suit him because he has to do more defensive roles than offensive roles. And when we do play a back three, he's a right-sided centre-back. That's not his best position for me. His best position should be right wing-back, where he can affect the game with his ability going forward. He was one of the first players we signed last season. It was 2 or 3 days after the playoff final. We acted really quick to get him. It was obviously Flynn wanted him as one of his key targets. Could see why for the first half of last season. But then after Christmas, January time, he did really drop off. I think he got 5 assists last season. None of them came after Christmas.
No, he didn't get one after Christmas, did he?
Do you think he's playing out of position?
I absolutely agree with you. I think, yes, if we've got injuries and we've got nobody else available, then fine, put him there, which is what we did previously, didn't we, when we had injuries or suspensions.
I think that's how he first went at centre-back.
Yeah.
Salford last year, or was it?
It was,
Forest Green?
Towards the end of last season he did it, didn't he? He was quite good there, actually. He was spraying balls around, wasn't he? But yeah, I think you're right. I think, first half of last season, he was brilliant. He was getting forward, he was getting assists, he was getting, crosses into the box and things, and that totally dropped off. And this season, he's got no assists this season, and I think he's been underutilised, because I think if you put him as a right centre-back, he's not effective, and that is possibly one of the reasons why we're struggling to create good chances going forward, because you've got your best right wing-back isn't even going over the halfway line anymore. And on the couple of occasions that he did cross the halfway line yesterday, especially when we went to a back four, he was actually managing to get some crosses into the box, creating chances. I'm just wondering, is it this change in formation that's maybe we're not getting the best out of him, because I suppose he's got to sit back a little bit more if he's playing in a back four, whereas if he's playing a wing back, he knows he's got the security of 3 centre backs so he can push forward. But some things I've noticed this season with him as well is he's been like pushing right. I think I've spoke about it before, pushing right up onto the left back, and we're playing the ball long to him for him to win headers. Didn't notice that so much yesterday, but that's kind of wasting him as well in my eyes. You're not getting the best out of him then. And then another thing is he got injured yesterday. We got Declan Drysdale on the bench. Didn't even come on. Seems out of favour at the moment. Don't really know what's going on there. Could have pushed Norman to the right back position and brought in, or if he was injured, take him off and bring Drysdale on. So I think there's a lot. Don't want to single him out, but I think what's happening with him is systematic of what's going wrong with the team at the moment.
In football, brilliant.
It is.
Also, something which Luke enjoys more than probably us two put together is a little bit of wrestling. And there's Exposure Wrestling presenting Neon Massacre right here at the Neon with WWE star or ex-WWE star Fandango on Sunday the 30th of October. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets from the Neon and the exposurewrestling.com website.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
Okay, so the one thing we're not going to do on Look Back in Amber is ever tell you porkies. So let's be honest about it, okay? No, not about that, about this. We had 4 Newport County players in this very studio on Wednesday evening, and we did interviews with all 4 of them. The 4 we can list as Mickey Demetrio, Priestley, we had Declan in, and we had Will.
You don't even mean Prince Charming and Declan Drysdale.
You have to listen to the interview for that. Well, across the whole 4 interviews. They were amazing, and we were really grateful for them giving up their time. So we want to give you, on this show, a little sneak listen to one of those interviews every time we do a show. And that interview will tell you when you can actually hear it properly in its full, because it's too much to put into one episode. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk. Look Back in Amber will be, as always, like this, and then we'll have our special edition, which will be coming out very soon. Would you two like to be reminded of your conversation, or a little bit of your conversation with Will Evans last Wednesday?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I absolutely would.
I'm glad you said that. Here it is.
You've joined Newport County. How did that come about? And what was it about Newport County that attracted you to them?
So I played I was selected for the Wales C versus England C game up in Carnarvon. I think that was March time, and it was a game where I felt it's happened previous to players who've played in that fixture that there's potential for a professional move, and I don't know what it was on the day, but everything fell for me, and luckily enough, popped there with 2 goals. We got the win, and within the next week or so, my phone hadn't stopped buzzing, and Newport showed a little bit of interest, along with a couple other teams. But James rung me, James Roby rung me, and he said, how about you come down to Newport and we'll have a chat, and you can meet the sporting director and we can go through a few things. So I came down to Newport, met him, Darren Kelly, Carl, and from the moment I left that conversation, what they could do for me I felt would be more beneficial than anyone else. And because I knew the area as well, I'm obviously familiar with Cardiff, it was a bit of a no-brainer for me, and the two married up real well for me. I knew it would suit me as a player and suit me as a person, being in familiar surroundings.
So what was the sales pitch? What did James and Darren say to you?
They were just saying how they could improve me as a player. They knew what I could bring to the team, but they're saying what I could work on that could develop myself and help the team going forward. And I just felt there was a bigger picture to it than just we're signing you to be a professional footballer. We're here to develop you. We're here to continue your career. We want to progress, and that for me was it worked well for me.
How different was what Newport County did to other clubs, the way they sold the club to you?
James straight away was, come down and meet. Let's not do it over the phone. Let's meet face to face, and you instantly get that personal connection straight away.
He's really impressive face to face.
Really impressive, yeah. And you can't say that the gift of the gab. What he said was very detailed. You can tell he's very precise in how he works. You can tell him himself and the team around him have looked into what I can bring, and the way that attracted me was it just suited me down to ground. And it was more on a personal level. He looked about the holistic of me, not just as a player, as a person, what I could bring, what I can offer, and that really stood out for me.
We covered everything with him in 40 minutes, and you'll be able to hear the interview I'll tell you more in a couple of seconds. As you can tell, he did not disappoint, did he?
No, he's brilliant.
And
really
that's only
fun.
3 minutes of it as well. There's a whole load of it to come your way. You can hear the full interview with Will Evans at 8 a.m. on Friday morning on Newport City Radio. If you subscribe to this podcast, expect the special edition with Will Evans to be delivered straight to you at 9 a.m. So that's a good reason for doing and subscribing, isn't it? That's also coming this Friday. Wow.
Right here, right now. This is Newport City Radio.
Okay, Look Back in Amber now takes a look forward.
In Amber.
In Amber. And the next away game is a League 2 match against Crawley Town on Saturday the 15th of October at 3 p.m. Scores, Luke.
Crawley are currently bottom of League 2. At home, they are 23rd. Only a point below us in terms of home form. I'm going to say we seem to be quite good away from home. I'm going to go 2-0 Newport. Obviously, we'll be coming up against Dom Telford as well, who left us over the summer to join Crawley.
And again, if you've still got a lot of love for Dom, which we have, you can go back to listen to his special edition as well, because that was another cracker, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, the new special edition is coming up with the 4 players we mentioned previously, are very much in the same sort of vibe as that, so definitely worth going back and digging at some extra editions of Look Back in Amber. Stephen?
Yep, I'll go for a close 2-1 win for Newport.
Next home match is going to be it's an EFL Trophy game on Tuesday the 18th of October, 7:45pm kickoff against Southampton under-21s.
5-4. Whenever we play under-21 teams in the Papa John's Trophy, it just seems to be mental. Wasn't it 4-3 against Arsenal last season? I know West Ham beat us 5-4 previously, so it's always mental whenever we play under-21, so I'm going to say 5-4.
Okay. Now, bear in mind, you two said that we would get a result against Leyton Orient, so that might not be that crazy.
No, yeah.
Stephen?
We have had some crazy results in the EFL Trophy. Okay, Luke's gone 5-4. I'll go 4-3 then. Go on. I'll go for it.
Okay. I'm going to go 10-0 because I'm just being silly.
Well, last time we played Southampton, we conceded 8, so let's hope it's not like that.
Yeah. I meant to count 10 for us, but there you go. I don't know where the goals are coming from, but there you go. And then, finally, back at home in the league on 22nd of October, 3pm, Colchester United are the visitors. Luke?
Well, away from home, Colchester played 5, 1 draw. So it's looking positive. So I'm going to say 2-0 Newport.
Yeah, I think this could be the game where everything clicks and we start putting away those chances. We're going to win 3-1.
Brilliant stuff. Wow, 3-1. Cool stuff. Okay, thank you for taking time out to listen to us today. As always, we'd love to read your thoughts about what our thoughts are like on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram via direct message. We're also on email, studio@newportcityradio.org. Our amazing conversation with Will Evans will be available this Friday. Get it fresh by subscribing to this podcast. And we will catch you on Sunday, the 23rd of October from 3pm as we look back in amber at the match against Colchester. More talking points, more banter, and a sneak listen to our interview with Priestley Farquharson.
Right here, right now. Newport City Radio.